Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forex. We're coming to you with a weekend breakdown of Bitcoin. We're going to be discussing Bitcoin, what caused the price to drop, and we're going to be discussing the economics the economic indicators and different economic events and geopolitical events that cause price to drop. Then we're going to discuss the technical analysis and discuss what's actually happening on the charts. Now, before we get started to break down this cryptocurrency, before we get started to break down this chart, we have to state that this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, but we all know why you guys are here. You guys are here to find good, credible content on Forex and other different, securities or commodities, so you guys could be able to become more profitable, consistent, profitable traders, and to put a little bit of extra money in your pocket. Okay, you don't have to do the hard work; we'll do it for you. All you got to do is check out the videos and to like and subscribe them. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and break down what's happening with Bitcoin, and then we'll get into what's happening on a chart. So what's happening with Bitcoin is actually several different factors, three main factors that is affecting Bitcoin. One is more so of an economic factor. Another one is more of a geopolitical factor. And one is dealing with the overall sentiment of it all. Okay. So the first factor, believe it or not, is the COVID-19. Okay. Because in China, we're starting to see a rise of COVID-19 through the Omni variant, which caused the Chinese government to start shutting down cities like Shanghai and other major cities in China. Okay. So once they started to shut these cities down, now you got to understand China is a big player in the cryptocurrency field. Like more of their everyday citizens trade cryptocurrency on like almost a per capita per citizen more so than any other country in the world. Okay. So when they started to put these restrictions on China, right, to try to curb the COVID outbreaks that's happening over in Shanghai and other major cities, this started to cause a lot of concern and persistent regulation. And what they think was going to happen, it started to bring down the overall sentiment of the crypto market. Okay, so with China going into heavy, regulation due to and restriction due to COVID, it started to cast like a dark cloud over the entire crypto market. Okay, because a lot of people in China may not continue to put money in investing in cryptocurrency because they may need this money for the long haul, just in case they start to have economic woes or different things like that that affect COVID. Okay, because remember, when COVID restrictions was in place, all economies were almost at a standstill because of the restrictions that were going on to try to curb the infection curve. Okay, so being that the Chinese citizens are not putting more money into not COVID, cryptocurrency like they would typically do due to the regulations and the restrictions on lockdown, then that means that they're holding their money and they're not putting it into cryptocurrency, which is causing the price to go down. Okay. Now another concern is what happened in the EU. The EU has a economic and monetary affair committee called the ECON. Okay, they just voted new regulations that is going to put very place stricter closures on requirements to have transparency with transactions for crypto. Okay, now one of the reasons why people love crypto is because of the blockchain technology that allows the transactions to be anonymous. Okay, now, what EU wants to do is put more regulations on this so they can be able to see who is doing what with crypto based on its transactions. Okay, so this caused people to start pulling money out of crypto, will also further the price drop as well. Okay, and another thing was that the Bitcoin kind of rallied very fast over the last couple of weeks, like surging up, surging up, surging up. So with that, when you start to see any type of commodity start to pick up speed and start reaching areas of price that hasn't been at a long time, or start breaking new areas of price, the just as fast as it went up is going to come down even faster. So that's what we're seeing right here that's happening with cryptocurrency, mainly affecting Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, as we can see, is the godfather of all cryptocurrency. Okay, so being that this is affecting Bitcoin, this is having a trickle down effect on the entire crypto market. Okay, so those are the three factors that are affecting Bitcoin and the crypto market. So let us go ahead and dive into the chart now, so you can get a good understanding from this how this fundamental factors are we're affecting it on a technical analysis base. Okay, so as we can see from here on, right, that we were moving up, moving up, moving up in price, and then we shot up in price very, very, very aggressively to like 47. We haven't been at 47 since, let's see, we haven't been at 47 since January. Okay, so it hasn't been that high since a couple months. Okay, so we came up very aggressively and we're coming down very aggressively. So that tends to happen when you're trading. And when you have things shoot up very aggressively, you tend to come down very aggressively. Okay. And then this was around this time, simultaneously, we started to see all these sanctions being placed in China and on Shanghai and its major cities, in which they're putting restrictions to try to curve the outbreak of COVID, so they don't have another massive outbreak within China. Okay. And also, here was at the same time, here was when we started to see a drop in price due to the European Union putting more regulations on EU members to be able to disclose the transactions between cryptocurrency. So that caused price to drop as well. Now, from a technical analysis standpoint, this is actually looking overall pretty good. This is almost looking like more so of a price reset, okay? Because we came down here, which is going to allow investors, whether you invested as a security or a commodity, or whether you invested as a forex trader, unless you invested as a Coinbase, Crypto.com, all those various platforms, that you can go ahead and get in and buy right here and actually gain all this back again, because we stopped exactly at the area where price took off from. And from a technical analysis standpoint, that's always a good thing. Okay. And now we're getting very, very hazy right here, and we're having range come into play. Let me show you this a little lower time frame, get a little bit more detail. Okay. So now we're having range come into play, right? All this is right here is range, right? With crypto, it's a little bit more volatile, so you got to give it a little bit more broad assessment with the range. So this is the range right here, okay? That's being made, and we stopped exactly, as we said, right around here, which was the area price took off from. Okay. So what it's looking like here is that we're going to be ranging out here for some time. We could have a slight push towards the downside, but eventually we're going to eventually have more aggressive uptake in price, where we're going to get to here, when we're going to get cleanly past this market structure here and get to here before we start getting a little shaky again. Okay, before we start ranging out again. Then we may have a drop down to here before we clear off and start to go to like 48 and 49. Okay, so we're going to still see a resurgence in price within the month of April, because this is almost like the last month major investors like to try to squeeze every penny out of a stone just before they go on hiatus for the summertime. Okay, because people that got hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, even tens of millions of dollars, they tend to slow down their investing on all securities, all commodities, just not crypto, stocks, oil, everything. They tend to slow down just before the summer months hit, so they can go ahead and enjoy their summers, but they like to make as much profit just before that hit. So this is why we're going to continue to see a resurgence in price in crypto, because here, it's better to buy here when it's lower than buy here all the way at the top. So, the geopolitical events that was happening along with the economic events that was happening were almost like a godsend, for lack of better words, to investors. So basically, they're going to buy here, push price here, and then push price past probably 49, probably getting as high as 50. And then we're going to see an initial drop where throughout the summer, we're going to be ranging between this price. within the 40s, from low 40s to high 40s. We're gonna be just be ranging in this price until the fall comes back in and they come back into the offices for the latter year trading. Okay, so you always have to remember that the trades start to get a little bit more aggressive towards April, just going into May, and in May you're going to start to see trading decline, which is going to cause the overall price of cryptocurrency to just be ranging out between 2 points for the remainder of the summertime. This is why you don't see no great surges in price during the remainder of the summer. You always see great surges in prices during the fall, during the winter, and as it's going into spring. Okay. I hope this information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.